Hey, so it's Adam Sandler. Here's comedian Mark Bailey, see? I taught him everything he knows. I only had 20 seconds. Believe me, this is funny. Talk Funny!
It's Talk Funny, a podcast by Mark Bailey and comics from all over. We ended up in Japan because enough about the dolphins. What about the tuna? The Talk Funny podcast from Nagoyaradio.com and Nagoyacomedy. Here's Mark Bailey.
We're back. Talk Funny. We've got Garrett Groesbeck. I'm Mark Bailey. And he's back.
I'm exhausted. I've just been, playing koto and shamisen this whole week frantically, trying out these new physical gags.
So how did that work out? Have you gotten kicked out yet?
I did get ordered to ritually disembowel myself by my teacher.
See, that's the thing that the serious people don't understand. It's like they probably warned you, like, don't do any more of those koto jokes. And now you probably got 4 more that you thought of since then.
Exactly.
It's like you tell a kid, don't even think about eating those cookies. Why? What? How special are they? And that's all you think about. That's all you think about, right?
Exactly.
It's like in the Bible, don't even think about, hey, anything else in this garden, but not that apple. Well, what's so great about that apple?
Or Judy Blume's advice for getting kids to read, which is to leave books around and tell them, I think that's a little too adult for you. I don't think you're ready for that.
I love that. That's great. That would have worked on me. And so
it did work on me.
Did it? So do not. These things can't be opened. You just don't touch them. Don't touch these things. Don't touch these. We call them books. Don't ever touch them. And God forbid you ever read one.
Off limits. There are people kissing in there.
Not only did I read it, I memorized it. So, hey, do you have any stories? I don't even know because I've never even dreamed of playing the shamisen or the koto. When I first came here, you've had the chopsticks lesson. I hate that. They're like, for the first 2 weeks, my in-laws are like, Joseph, this, nah.
Yeah.
And they don't mean that your chopsticks use. What they mean is, we'll say it for a couple of weeks, and then he might ask, really? Because I noticed that you do it differently. Can you teach me how to do that? I have no interest in that. I don't care.
Yeah.
I get the food to my mouth, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of these people who insists on a fork. I use chopsticks.
Yeah.
But keep your mouth shut about the way I use them, okay? Because
you use them with sort of your index fingers wrapped around it and sort of just...
I don't know if this is the correct way. I put one in each nostril.
There we go.
And then I'm pretty good. If you inhale, you can actually grasp, a couple of grains of rice. Is that the right way?
Works really well for soup, too. You sort of like tilt your head up and then pour the soup along the chopsticks.
I actually did this. It made my mother-in-law angry and my wife angry. It's a big family celebration. And I kept saying, if they mention my chopstick use one more time, if they compliment me or insult me, it doesn't matter. I've got a gag ready. So I said, really? They said, yeah, you're Joseph, isn't it? So I said, really? So I took a bowl of soup and I ate the whole bowl of soup. It took 2 hours. And they're like, choto.
Sitting seiza the whole time.
Yeah. And my wife is like, you made your point. You've made your point. I don't think I have.
Not yet. No, I've just started asking people, knowing full well that sarcasm does not translate here and still not caring. I've just started saying, did they teach you that in your elementary school curriculum or something to compliment foreigners on Why does every Japanese person say that?
Also, yeah, and always the same way.
Yeah.
Hashi Jozu desu ne.
But it's almost like they're like, oh yeah, I just remembered I have to compliment him on his chopsticks.
But it's like if you had a Northeast version, Northeast U.S. version, like a Brooklyn version of Japanese.
Yeah.
In Brooklyn, Brooklynese, we say a different way. We don't say where is the bank. We say, so the bank is like where? It's like where? It's very close to Japanese syntax, right?
That's true.
But so why is nobody in Japan, they would never say like, Jozu desu ne hashi, right?
Yeah.
Or Jozu hashi desu ne. Jozu desu hashi desu ne, right? So do you have any snappy comebacks when they say your chopstick use is good or you play the shamisen surprisingly well?
Oh, but the shamisen actually makes Japanese people really uncomfortable because they're
when you play it?
Yeah, not when I yes. Yeah,
no,
and the koto,
No, I mean it's kind of like appropriation, right? It's like, well, what is he? Which I don't believe in, by the way.
Not maybe less appropriation and more like this. I see a lot of people have this moment of I'm Japanese and I have no point of reference on. I don't know what to say about the shaman, and then they go, you're more Japanese than Japanese people,
right?
And I say, yeah, bitch. I mean, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
We can't.
Sorry.
We can't say that word here. Instead of that, we say "yeah, jingle girl."
Yeah.
Same meaning. Yeah, girl.
Yeah. You yariman.
So I think Japanese cursing is probably fine because it's mostly our
of course.
our audience is mostly.
Kasa!
Yeah, you know something. I tried. I was watching some of those with the old commercials of the Budweiser or something. It's like, what's up? Right? And I did that to my dog. My dog just stared at me. Even after I stopped saying "what's up," he's just staring at me. He doesn't know what to do. He's never seen that commercial.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
I started to think my dog is autistic because he doesn't notice social cues. That's one of the symptoms, right?
Yeah.
He never talks. He's always just in that bowl. He's just looking at the bowl the whole time. There's nothing in it. And he's looking at the bowl. I think
Focused
he's autistic.
Inward.
I think I've heard of in Brooklyn now. They've got the Brooklyn hipsters. When I was there, it was mob, but now the hipsters are in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And they are apparently
you left just in time.
Yeah, just in time. Just in time to not be cool. And they are doing this thing.
the pained laugh of a Japanese Japanese
so
person being told that a foreigner had some sort of displeasurable experience in Japan.
So this guy.
Demo na.
I had an interesting story about my dog. In Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
They are starting to. This is not a joke. They're starting to refuse to give their dogs. Have you heard about this? Vaccines?
No rabies. Really? Oh my god.
No rabies vaccines. They're afraid of autism.
Oh.
I think that would be dogtism, right? But this is a real story. This actually just happened. I just heard about this. I'm like, are you serious? Don't we have more pressing problems? But yeah, when you tell a joke, I had an experience when I was in Osaka, and I was talking to a fellow comic, and he had a friend. Older Japanese guy. And I thought that since he's at a comedy show that he has a sense of humor. But I forgot that he was an old Japanese guy. And he goes, so what kind of humor do you do? And I said, it's kind of like I complain about my wife. And, I for example, I said one of my jokes is for New Year's, I got her a New Year's Day present. And it was 5 packs of mochi and a stopwatch. And it's like, okay, see if you can break the record. Don't chew so much. Just swallow, right? And he goes, well, that's very dangerous. I'm like, yeah, exactly. And there's 12 people that die every year in Japan of choking on mochi, and that's a shame because my wife's not number 13. And he's just looking at me in horror. And he said,
American joke.
And he said, here's the thing that angered me. Oh, your wife is Japanese? And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, maybe. And he starts defending her. Maybe you don't understand her. And I said, you've never met her. You've met me. What makes you think you understand her? You don't understand me, and you met me.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, there's some things that maybe foreigners don't understand. I said, I've been here 27 years, biatch, right? I've been here 27 years.
Yariman.
I understand when I'm in a bad situation. It's like, well, maybe you don't know what kind of boat it is. Well, I know it's sinking, right?
So there are times when Japanese people will just sort of jump into defense. Like I told someone one time that it was, strange that in Tokyo and Osaka and any other city in Japan, they don't have all these signs that they have in Nagoya to say, don't walk on the escalators. And suddenly she turned into an engineer. She was like, well, if there's a sign, there must be a reason that somebody, escalators weren't even designed to be walked on. And I thought, I'm never taking an escalator again if they were designed not to be walked on.
Yeah, how dare you get on an escalator when you're in a hurry?
Yeah.
Take the stairs and walk backwards.
Also, and she's like, well, it's just Japanese manners. And I said, have you been to Tokyo? What? Why are you trying? But no.
Oh, Osaka, it doesn't work. In Osaka, they climb the escalators. We're going to have to close, and Garrett's going to be back with us next week. So this has been Garrett Groesbeck and Mark Bailey, and this has been Talk Funny. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.